I'm cleaning up in here, doing a little caffeine with Samson. This is a tasty product. It's, I got it yesterday. No calories, no sugar, but it does have alcohol sugars, or sugar alcohol, one of those. And I'm not so sure, I mean, it still jacks up your glucose, so I don't know if it's really helpful. But then it said, like, people with type 2 diabetes, this would be a good choice. I don't have type 2 diabetes, but I was pre-diabetic at one point. So I'm cleaning up Sam's room. You know, there's these companies that everybody's dealt with them before, and they have these deceptive practices, and one of them is that you can get their 30-day trial period, right? Which is fair, but if they make it a hassle for you to contact them and tell them you don't want to do it anymore, that's a deceptive practice, and that's common. So if they make it like you just have to log in and unsubscribe, that's one thing. But if they make it, well, you have to call us on the phone, they know that, and they're closed Saturday and Sunday. They know that there's going to be people that, one, for whatever reason, you know, were thinking you were going to call them, and then you forgot, or maybe it's the weekend and you were going to call them, and then you forgot. You know, it's going to roll over and you're going to forget about it, and your card will just keep getting charged. It's a lot like a raven, sort of. Like, he's a thief, aren't you, Sam? He's a thief, and he hides stuff, and he's watching where you put stuff, and he's interested in himself, as far as that goes. I don't blame him, because he's a raven, right, Sammy? Samson. Sammy. But, like, for humans to do that, I think it really stinks. It does. It really stinks. I'm in the process of sweeping this room. I'll move this back as far as I can. The thing I'm going to do is get rid of this. This bottle isn't going to be helpful. It's a water bottle. Sam wants to play with it. Now, Remy wants to come in, but I'm sweeping the floor, so Remy's not coming in. Maybe I'll do a live stream later with Remy and Khaki. Maybe. I don't want that to fall out. I'm gonna keep it in here though. Maybe one of these is in better. But I need to finish some of this room. I've been sort of stalled out. It's going to be, money. There's other stuff I need to do. There's always something that's more important. No offense, Sam. There's always some kind of pressing bullshit. It's the truth. It's always this pressing bullshit. So no matter what's going on, it's like you can't consider it. Like doing the Ravens room. It's more like a luxury. Sorry, Sam. No offense. But it is. There's always something more important. You doing a molt, Sammy? But I guess, if somebody said me how my friend Robert Masters, dog trainer in North Carolina, you know that guy? He works dogs similar to me. He doesn't train with food, right? He's realistic. Like, say he has a kid, but like, if you had a kid, you had some dog that was aggressive around the kid, Robert would tell you to get rid of the dog. Find a home for the dog. Because he is realistic. Now, he's a dog trainer, so, he's always going to have some kind of dog that's fucked up around his kid. But he's a dog trainer, so it's not the same. It isn't the same. I was talking to him this morning. He's similar to me. Like, occasionally thinks about running for office, which I do. I keep thinking about it. I'd run for Congress in this area. The one thing that is sort of like, I was going to do it because this guy Tom Reed is just, he's a definite Trumper, So, I was a Republican. I would not want to be part of that party right now. So I don't see, who is there? Adam Kingsing, whatever his name is, Cheney, Romney. That's about it. Romney sometimes. I'll tell you that Susan Collins, wow, what a piece of shit. She was saying, I saw yesterday, she was saying that she thinks that Trump should be allowed back on Twitter. Why? Because Elon Musk bought it? He broke the rule. So Elon can't, well, it's his company, right? But you should have some type of ethics. He has SpaceX, I would think he has some kind of ethics. He was like, if you have a social media company, you would have to have a board that would have to make decisions, of course, on well, this is a prominent person. Do we get rid of him for just making stuff up or saying stuff that's detrimental to the public? It's like they run in this gray area where shouldn't be really any gray area, especially with stuff that's, you think about how many people fast because of, well, the person who bought, hey, I'm going to tell you flat out, I like Elon. I like aspects about him, but I'm not a sycophant. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, man. Just because he has built PayPal and he built SpaceX and Tesla doesn't mean, which all those things I like, doesn't mean I have to just fall in line behind him. A lot of people do that with Trump. They just go in line behind him because they watched his show. It's it's like a combination of things. Watch his show and only listen to Fox Local News or the Fox Opinion shows, which is a huge swath of the American public. But I'm not a sycophant for one. There's no way. I'm not a sycophant for anybody. That whole sycophantic, like, they can do no wrong, or like when you put your blinders on, is not a good thing when you're talking about things that are important. And I have Twitter. I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know. YouTube's my favorite, of course, but you can't have people using social media political gain, and there has to be like there has to be ethics involved. You can't just like say, well, here's your example, freedom of speech. Well, we have freedom of speech, but that's only you're not allowed to say just whatever you want. So you can't run into a theater and scream fire. You can't, what else can't you do? You can't joke about having a bomb on a plane. So we have freedom of speech to a point. You can't just say whatever you want. Like freedom of speech, like should social media, are you allowed to have hate speech? That would be, some people think that that's freedom of speech. And that's not what freedom of speech is. It isn't just like, well, I can do whatever I want. That's like, well, there's no laws in my world. I can drive a car, not wear a seatbelt, I drive drunk, I don't have to wear my glasses. It's not how it works. See, I'd be good for Congress. See, this is it, that I could just get up there and talk about shit. And talk about a subject. And I can stay on a subject if I need to be. But I don't know. I've thought about it, I'm thinking about it. Like Robert's thinking about running too. I've got what he's running for. He's gonna try local, which mine would be local, but not really. The town Reed was it's just a joke. You don't want somebody that's just a yes man. And that's a huge problem. It's like people just, well, do what my party wants me to do. Just kind of fall in line. There's nobody like John McCain in there anymore. Jane. She might do the right. She's doing the right thing. She's not like John. Nobody's like John McCain was. He didn't do the right side. He just went with what he thought was right. All the crap he had to ignore. Jesus Christ. People from his own party. Calling the POW like saying derogatory things about him. Like, oh, he's the songbird or something. He's the canary. Shut up. He did not leave. They gave him an option to leave. And his dad was mad at him. So when he got captured, his plane went down. They found out who he was, and they were like, well, we'll let you go. They were going to make it, going to be like a political move for them. Meaning, see, the elites don't care. They don't care. They're different, right? They're different. We gave them the opportunity to go back home, and they took it and left everybody that, you know, was in the military, who was captured too. They left him. Or he left all of them, you know? But he didn't do it. He didn't. He fucking stayed in there. They tortured him. They broke his arm. They fucked up his arm permanently. You know, to make sure. Who's that? The guy was a war hero. And more than that, he just did what was right, not like what was popular. Who's that? Hey, Big Mouth. Tonka. I'll be right down there, dude. Tonky. I'll be right down. He's such a dick. Isn't he a dick, Sandy? What a prick, isn't he? Who's he think he's talking to? There's no civility. There isn't. There's absolutely none. It's real weird. Now, you know, that's a relative term because you know, a barbarian might think that their behavior is totally acceptable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like to some people, I wouldn't be civilized or wouldn't be acting civil. My family. I know when I started the YouTube channel, people in my family had voiced that they thought that I was unfair. Like, not unfair, but like they thought that it was wrong. I would say stuff about season one, which I don't really understand what I was saying it was so wrong. I was telling the truth, right? I was. The shit's not effective. You know, he's not helping. It's making matters worse. My dad's comment was, "Yeah, I don't care. I was just saying that he has a lot of money. If he wanted to tie you up in court, he could." And I said, well, that wouldn't make any sense financially for him to do that because I don't have any money, right? And if you're telling the truth, right? If you tell the truth, then they can't sue. They can sue you. They're not going to win, right? So it just never made any sense to me. But to them, it sort of seemed like I was like barbaric. Like, they can't believe the things that I'm saying on the internet about, Caesar Milan. Which, like, I didn't, I was like, what are you talking about? What world are, you're not living in the same world as me. Let me go dump this. Be right back. Sam, you look like a molten dude. You just can't say whatever you want. That's not freedom of speech. It's not. Now, what is freedom of speech? Is being able to say the truth. That's what freedom of speech is. As long as you're telling the truth, you can pretty much say whatever you want. But with that said, it's like art. There should be some type of responsibility. You can't, you might be able to say whatever you want, but should you say whatever you want? There should be some kind of ethics involved. If something's truthful, but it hurts somebody, then it shouldn't be said. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say whatever you want without, you should have to have some sort of ethics with freedom of speech. I don't know what Elon's, why he's doing this. I don't know. Why is he buying a pre-existing company? It's highly suspicious. Speaking of that, I haven't even gone to Trump's social media. I was thinking I would do it, and I would just, he's about freedom of speech. What? You said he likes my political views. It's not that, it's not. But there's repercussions. They might ask for all kinds of information that you don't want to get, because I think that man lacked morals. So I can't see him having a social media company that would be any more ethical than Facebook, or YouTube, or Twitter. Who's more ethical, Elon or Trump? Elon. Life's smarter, that's for sure. Ethics we don't know yet with Elon. Sort of we do. What's his excuse for posting disinformation vaccine stuff that wasn't true? That I don't get. No, what is he doing that? Conspiracy stuff about vaccines? He should know better, you would think. Wouldn't you? Okay, that's not necessary. See, I'm seeing the garbage man. Still looking at me, man. I had chili 3 ways for breakfast. I woke up earlier and I went back to bed. Chili 3 ways is steak and shake. It's like spaghetti with chili on it with a little bit of ketchup, Parmesan. That's what I had for breakfast. Just felt like I wanted to eat again, right? Lutsy is starting to retreat now, so it becomes a totally different ballgame for me and him. Totally different. Sweat pretty good, Sammy. Sam, the garbage man. Still looking at me. Sammy. Right, Samson? Little Samson. It's in the hallway. See this one. Fascinating everybody with my breakfast, what I had for breakfast. But I went back to sleep for about 45 minutes. I figured you turned to me. Yes, I did. Grandmaster Chipmeister. He was here. When was Chippy last here? God. When was that? They were camping. It must have been in the fall. He wasn't here that long ago. It's a fucking nutty little dog. It's adorable. It's real cute. Man, that dog, this is the truth. He came here and I'm like, I'm hanging around with him and I go, oh, this dog has like 0 drive. You know, no drive. I taught him to do the dummy launcher. This is low drive. Still got him to do it. He was awesome. Maybe the smallest dog I've ever taught to do the dummy launcher, and maybe the only dog that size in the world that does a dummy launcher. That's the truth. If there's another Yorkie doing a dummy launcher, I'd like to know about it. Little Chippy. That is Jimmy's dog, but he hangs around with Taylor a lot. So, it's Jimmy's dog. Like I said, it just hangs around with Taylor lots. Hydrogen peroxide. Sammy, get up there. Chippy. God, I love that dog. It's a fucking nut. He is. He was fun. He was fun because I got him to this point where it's just like, oh, this had no drive, then he had some drive. You can build drive up in a dog. I made like a little sort of course that you could go on, walk the plank, go through, like that. He was a blast, but because he was small, you could have like a sort of extensive, like, little course for the dog to do in a very small area. It's a 4-pound dog. It's tiny dog. Oh, $25. Give me 20. Oh, thank you, Kristen Hoffman. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. If you're serious about running for office, those people will come. Hard and well intentions, the big man. Oh, I know about this. I've already thought about it. This is the only thing that holds me back. The thing is like, the Oppo research on me, it's right out there. It won't be hard to find. I've talked about it. My life's an open book. I can't think of anything I'm really hiding. I can't think of anything. And I admit it, man. Back when I drank, I wasn't exactly, I wasn't the worst, but I wasn't the best either. I'm sure I said stuff, and I'm sober, I'll still say stuff. I'm just like, stuff I say is more coherent. Yeah, I know, I understand all that. You probably have to have a detail on me because I got a big mouth. It's alright. They'll probably not say stuff too. I can have a governor switch. I can. I don't say everything to everyone. Some things just seem inappropriate. And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about like in a personal, private setting. I don't say everything, because it might be offensive. That would be my reasoning, I think. It's a good product. They should make it without the fake sweetener in it, but it tastes real good. It's cold today. 2 more days, or 3 more days, something like that, so I don't care. I'll be out there in the field with Lutzi today. Start transitioning into doing retrieves out there in the field. I was gonna wait another day and do it in the yard, but fuck it. I'll get him to do a good retrieve out there, and we'll build on that. And he will. He'll do a great retrieve. That's the point. Like once I can get the dog to do one good retrieve, I can just keep it going. And then I'm gonna use that as, if he doesn't play by my rules, then hey, just got here. Can we see what do you want me to do? Sam, somebody wants to see you. Could you go over there? No, he said no. He said no. Maybe he'll come over here. I don't know. Oh, what do you want me to do? Go get him for you? Sam, get the fuck on here. Here, get on. Get on. Say something to this person. Say something. You're an idiot! He just called you an idiot. Did you see him? Saying it was very nice. Go apologize. Fuck that! I'm gonna mop this place out, but before I do that, there's a little mold on this window. I have a fan in the attic, which takes out a lot of moisture, but I don't have it on in the winter. So I'm gonna make sure to kill this mold over here. It's not much. There's more in that room over there. I killed it. It's sort of like this slide. Sorry about that. Oh, it does kill it. You know what works better than this on mold? Hydrogen peroxide. This bleach. I'm going to crack these windows a bit. Samson. Sorry, dude. If you want to, this is an interesting fact. If you ever want to stop the bleaching action, right? Like say you bleach the color out of a fabric. You want to stop the bleaching, you put in hydrogen peroxide. Both are photochemicals, but they're like on different spectrums, like end of the spectrum. Samson. I know that stinks, Sammy. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's see if I can do something else. It's smelling like it. Let me go get some paper towels. I'll be right back. Let me speed this up. Michael, what are you doing? Remy, get out of here. Go on. Sammy. Samson. She'll return. Let me go get a bucket of water. What's the green screen for? Green screen? Is that, yes it is in that outlet box. I'll be right back. Let me go get a bucket of hot water. See you soon. A little sore with him. Sorry I didn't get this the other day, like I said, Sammy. The reason why hydrogen peroxide is better to kill mold, it might look like it's still there, but it's not, it's dead. It kills it to the root. Where bleach bleaches it out, but it doesn't kill it to the root, so it can come back. Hydrogen peroxide is better, and if you wanted to like get rid of it, you would go hydrogen peroxide, and then you could do some bleach over it just to make sure it looked like it was gone, because it will be gone. But hydrogen peroxide kills it down the root. So if you are trying to kill mold or fungus or anything like that, hydrogen peroxide is your preferred chemical. That's what I did downstairs in the basement. I put hydrogen, I only did it and added to it. Hydrogen peroxide on pump spray. I did it a couple times so I didn't miss anything. This place is moldy smelling. Now it smells like animals, but it's not moldy. You know? There's also like the big factor. But like I said, I'm gonna turn on the fan up there. I should do that. Let me bring up a ladder too. Well, let me do this first. that, a ghost? I'm using, back to the hydrogen peroxide, I'm using a cleaner, not water. It's a, it's like the equivalent of Fabioso, but it's Walmart's brand. I'm working on it. I said there's just always something. Right, Samson? Let's James are so high in here, Sam. Let's do that. Bleach is still here, huh? That one's over here. Right, Sam? Sam. What's that? Whatever. Out of it. It's not that big of a deal, dude. Boy, it's Poroshenko. As soon as the war started, he just started appearing. He's Ukrainian. He's, you know. At first I was like, well, he's just doing this to, you know, because he wants a running man or something. And he just wants to stay. I don't know. But he's Ukrainian. So. dick. Get out of here, dude. Real funny, dude. You're a real fucking comedian, Sammy. Sam, one of his favorite things to do is get me right here. You know, right there. So rude. Isn't that right, Sammy? I got Skype at 2 o'clock, I think I do. They didn't send the PayPal. But I sort of had this deal with them last time. It was like, they said they sent it, and they said they sent it, and then they didn't send it. But then they sent it, so, I think that's who that was. So, I'll send them an invoice. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, this floor looks pretty good for the floor. I wish I could just paint this with something really tough. Fill it and paint it. Well, maybe I could. You know what I use downstairs? To, you know, like places like this, like plank floors. I was trying liquid nails and stuff to fill in the cracks. But you know what works better is thin set. It's economical. It is. It's very economical. It goes on. You get don't get the kind you mix. Just get the kind in the tub with the polymers in it. Well, they both have polymers in it, but you put that stuff. I think it works good. Now, this is a Raven's room, so in some areas he like pulled up the liquid nails in like a strip, you know. So I'm not putting that down. I'm not gonna use that again. I'll tell you what I will use is thin set. You know, the deal with this floor is if you could put in a new floor, it needs to be sort of flat. Maybe I can just sort of get it flatter with the thin set and then do tile. I just need something that's easy to clean. Now a lot of people with macaws, they use like that tile floor, like, what is it, terrazzo or something, I don't know. See it a lot in Florida, big old squares of tile. I'm just curious, like, with a grout, where you know, is that going to be an issue? Maybe not. I think I might try. I might look at that. Because I'll tell you something. If I do that, I could do a section of the floor at a time. So when I got money, I'll just do another section. Because it's just, it's too much to, like, you know, there's always some kind of bill, you know. It's huge. I went to the dentist yesterday. I wanted to look at the flipper. I lost a tooth 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. And so I got this flipper in. I wanted to make sure it was fitting properly. He says it fits good, so I said I like this little chip. He said he won't do anything too. So I wanted to ask him about getting the tooth. the dental implant. It'd be like $5,500, you know? And then, so that's a lot of money, man. I have property taxes that are more important. Like, I have to put a roof on this section of a house. That's sort of more important. See, there's always something going on. You know, that's the deal with being poor. It's like, it's like you might, if you get some cash, it needs to be spent on what's really needed, not, you know. I don't know. You figure it out. I'm gonna have to raise prices, I think. I think. I already have. Adults. Well, I'm doing. All dogs have to stay for 90 days. Puppies take longer because of puppies. Adults take longer because there's more stuff trained in. So, I mean, if I was just like a dog trainer that just did like, yeah, you get your dog to sit, you know, and down. I don't do that. Somebody contacted me recently. A friend from New York City, this comedian, it's like, her friend is having a problem with their dog, you know? And she's like, how much for 2 weeks of training? Don't do that. I don't do that. I want your dog to function well. And it's a dog that's having issues, so, you know, that's why they were contacting, you know, that's why my friend contacted me. And, so, if your dog's having issues, 2 weeks is not going to do it. And also, if your dog's having issues, getting a dog trainer to come and do a lesson with you is ridiculous. You're wasting your money. Don't do that. People would do that when I was in the city, like, want me to come over. Like, they got a puppy, and then they want me to come over. And then they'd pay me, you know, money. Like, I was gonna make everything okay for them by coming over. And then they start having issues, and then they're like, you know. I remember this one, it was like, same thing. They couldn't get the dog trained in my time frame because they had to have the dog. Well, the dog's fucking up really bad. And I haven't checked with them, but I doubt that they even have the dog. They had children. The dog was having leash aggression. And it was one of those, like, I met them. They're nice family. The wife was sort of weird. She's with this French woman. I don't want to talk about it. Sort of weird. Inappropriate. Yeah, what's mad with people? Because her husband, whatever. Because she wanted to feel like she was still attracted to men or something. I don't know. It was one of those situations. Like, come on. What are you doing? Shit, you know what? Being a chick is real hard. Like when you're young, you're like the sort of, what's the term? Like you're hot, right? Whatever society calls hot, which makes it difficult for women to share. You know, like what is the quintessential hot woman is sort of unattainable for most women, you know, to be that thing in the magazine. And for some women and young girls, it's totally unhealthy. It's an unhealthy attitude. Like you're gonna get old, so get it right in your head. You're not gonna have that perfect body. Now, with that said, I find it weird. There's like this backlash to that kind of thought, like in advertising. Well, we use the overweight person. Yeah, well, overweight isn't healthy. So what are you doing that? You could just use somebody that was like, didn't look like a supermodel, you know. You could use somebody that didn't look like her, you know. You use somebody that looks like just a person. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like a woman that's in shape. But that's not what they do. They make this whole like, I don't know. Think about all the eating disorder shit it's caused. That's. I don't think that was going on in the 50s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. It's like, this is like nonsense. There's all this like pressure put on women to look a certain way. I think this one woman, she's aging, man. She must be pushing 70. She looks good. She stays in shape. I'm not saying that she's... But the point is that she would still be attractive if she didn't get work done. She'd be aging gracefully. And sooner or later, it starts looking weird. Like, you can look at the person and go, well, how old are they? You know, like... They still look 70. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much you can do. And then your face starts looking like a cat. That's not attractive. So it's sort of counterproductive. The whole, like the whole plastic surgery thing is weird. It's real strange. Selling this notion to women that they have to be like, stacked, you know, selling bolt-ons. That is not a prerequisite for beauty, that's for sure. You don't have to be stacked to be sexy. That's just nonsense. I don't get that. I don't know who started that. I think some guys are into like the gym. I think that a lot of that has to do with like what you're used to. Like I've said this before, man. I've talked about this. Like my friend Rob in Brooklyn, like he liked the big round ass. Right? He loved it. That's what he liked to look at. You know? That's what he liked to like date. And I think it was because like you know, his mom was probably like that. Yeah, that guy was, it's funny. I wish I could find out if it's okay. It's on my social media. Every time I went back to Brooklyn, I would see me. They had a bout with cancer. That's why I'm saying that. It always worked his ass off. Every day that's working. It's cancer. This is pretty good. What do you think? So seeing this floor, I am getting some, seeing how we could probably do this. I could do this in sections. Definitely. That's going to be the only way I'm going to get it done. I don't know what it's going to cost. In other words, like I could get the thin set. I can do the thin set now. Level everything off as much as I can. Maybe in some areas that are high, like right here, maybe I'll sand this down. I'll just make it visually as flat as I can. There's only a couple areas. If I had a belt sander, I could really take that down flat. But use the thin set, sort of seal it and seal it first. Get it level. Get it level with the thin set. There's just areas that are like sort of open. There's planks that are raised. I've been a lot thinking about this. A lot came to popped into my head on how to do stuff like that. I don't know why. So maybe it was because I was thinking about the car. Sammy, how's this look? Is this better? Are we good? All right, Samson. No, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hang on. What's up, Toxic Sheba? Well, that's nice of you. Kristen, you're a blues person. Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Sheba. There she is. Be right back. I'm exhausted. My morning started at 3 a.m. I think I need to close my eyes for a little. What? Really? 3 a.m.? Bigfoot problem? Watch out. Be careful. They're in Alabama. The redneck, though. Watch out. better in here. Sam, the garbage man. Stole a pig and there he ran. Sammy. How you doing, Sammy? How you doing, Samson? You good boy? You your pet? Tickle, tickle. Sam, the garbage man. Stole a pig and there he ran. Sammy. Right, Sam? I don't know why. Pumpkin had an accident in her kennel, so I had to clean it ASAP. Plus, I had to bathe her. I don't know why she had that accident, considering I walked her last night, and she'd been using the same kennel since she was a year old. Regardless, I have to take responsibility for it. Thank you, Toxic Sheba. Hang on. What's that? I guess that was Destiny going downstairs. Can't believe I woke up and I had chili 3 ways. Let me get some pigeon food. Let's see, Handy Winkle. Hey, Hammy, you want to call? Here's your seed. Hopefully Sam won't dump it on the ground again. I don't know why I did that. Just because he's a raven. I really don't want to do. Let me get the ladder. I guess I'll turn the fan on. Can I reach it with that ladder? I'd be this high. I have to pull myself up. I think I can do it. I don't want to bring the 6-foot ladder up here. Move room. See if this thing works. Samson. I have to plug this fan in. I'm gonna have to pull myself up, I believe. Let's see, we'll work in a minute. Come on. Say never to do this. Let's see what it is. Damn it. Let's see. Well, there it is. This one looks the same. Ow! Alright, that's on. Which, I have about this section in the attic of insulation left, but it's all pretty much done. That comes on. I think I have it on every 2 hours or something. Whether it needs it or not, it's the summer. So I invested a lot of time and effort into ventilation for this place. because it had none. It was typical of a building, from 1890. It had no ventilation. Nobody ever put anything in here. So I put ventilation in the attic, and that has a dual purpose, because if there's noise up there, I don't think bats like noise. So I don't want bats going in there. Now, I don't think they were there. I think they were between like the cinder block chimney and the wall. I think that they were there. That's what they like. Everything's all sealed up pretty much. They're not going to be here for a while. I'm going to double check this area, make sure it's sealed up. I do not want you in my house, bats. Now, one other thing that I would think that like bats aren't into is burrowing. So I have insulation along underneath in the attic along the soffit. So I don't think they go in there anyway. I don't think they like that. I think what they like is like a small space that they don't have, like, they're not a rodent, but they like to hang out together right next to each other, right? It's like what a bat's like. And I think the chimney was perfect for them, because there's probably a space like this between like the chimney and the building. Somebody put the cinder block chimney in after, it's like later, so that they could put a wood burning stove in. So I believe the bats were having their babies. The roost was like between that. You can't do that here, bats. I don't like bats. I like all animals. I do. I'm not wigged out by any animal except the bat. It's my kryptonite. I don't like them, and I don't want to hear about mosquitoes. I know all this. They're a rabies vector, and some of them suck blood. How about that? If they were flying foxes and I lived in Australia, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because they're not going up into my attic, they're living in trees, and they don't have rabies, right? So I wouldn't have too much. I mean, I'm sure that they still have toxoplasmosis or something, whatever, but they're not really disgusting like our little black and brown bats are, like filthy with disease, absolutely filthy. If this is the CDC's recommendation, if you have like an incapacitated person in a room, or somebody that's mentally challenged in a room, and there's a bat in the room, and you come in and the incapacitated person, the bat's fine, you need to have them treated. Rabies is so deadly that, don't screw around with rabies. It's not anything that's, it's not really curable. Well, if you get bit, you go to the hospital and they give you antibiotics, but once it starts progressing, I think there's one case of a person that had rabies. Yeah, only one person has survived rabies, and they were screwed up for life. It really screwed them up. So it's gonna mess you up. That is correct. I read that too, Toxic. It's not anything to screw around with. So don't pick up a bat. What I did when a bat was flying around in here is I ran out the front door. Like, I grabbed the cat and I ran out the door and left the door open. I ran and screamed like a little girl. Ah, it's a bat, ah. No, like that. And then I came back after an hour or something, and I didn't see the bat. I loaded up the car and I left. I came back a month and a half later. That's what I did. So I don't want to deal with them. Gross. Milwaukee Protocol, I believe. Really? All right, egghead. Good job, nerdy. How would you... Really? Milwaukee Protocol. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Tell us more, Toxic. That's interesting, huh? Is that the way that they treated her? Is that why they think she lived, or? It was a woman? I thought it was a dude, but I believe you. She was put in a deep medical-induced coma to allow her body to fight off the virus. Really? Huh. And it worked. What's up, Craig? I don't remember. I find a documentary. Oh, there's a documentary? Oh, I'll find that. I'd like to watch that. That's interesting. Huh. That's really interesting. But as I remember, she was screwed up afterwards. Like, she's not. It did a lot of damage. Neurological damage, I think. That is very interesting, though. Here's a fun fact, is that all warm-blooded animals can get rabies. However, possum's temperature is lower than most mammals, so they don't really get it. Because like if an animal has rabies and it dies within a minute or two, the temperature drops, it's no longer. Try to learn as much as I can. Well, thank you, Dr. Toxic. It's an interesting subject. There's a lot of bats down there in Alabama. There are. There's a lot of bats everywhere. There's a lot of bats here. They're just not, they hibernate in the winter. Good. Go away. Gross. They're disgusting. I remember I was in Kansas City. I convinced my dad to get the rabies vaccine after he got bit by an unvaccinated dog a few years ago. He could get the rabies vaccine? Really? Because when I was a vet tech, they only were giving them to, this is New York State, they were only giving them to the vet. They weren't giving them to the vet techs. And I don't really know why that was. That's interesting. Huh. Like, it was only people like wildlife rehabilitators could get the rabies vaccine for sure. But this is New York State 25 years ago or something. Like, they still only recommend it for people that, work around dogs, I think, or animals, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know anything about it now. I'm sure the vaccine's probably better now. They had that Lyme's disease vaccine for dogs that when it first came out, Fort Dodge made it or something. It wasn't that good. It was only partly successful. Now they have one that's pretty successful. It's one of those you have to get the dog like every year, a booster. That's for Lyme. The dog was loose, got hit by a truck, and proceeded to bite my dad. It was pretty sad to witness, but you don't take risk with a disease like that. That is correct. Oh, did he get the vaccine, or did he just get the treatment, which is a series of antibiotics? He didn't get the vaccine. He got treated. He got treated, right? Right. I probably read it wrong. Rabies is bullshit. It is, right? Oh, what was I thinking about? Leptospirosis. Like, here's the deal with lepto and getting that for your dog. You could get it for your dog. He got treated with rabies vaccine, which is how it's treated. Really? It used to be a series of injections that were antibiotics. Wow, they've changed it then. I did not know that. I did not know that. What was I thinking? I was thinking something. Oh, it's a series of injections. Yes. Isn't it? I thought it was antibiotics. What was I thinking? But I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Leptospirosis in your dog. I think the vaccine covers 8 strains of lepto, but there's like 12 or 13, something like that. So they sort of only really recommend them for like hunting dogs. But then in the city, it was popping up all over because there were rats that would pee places that they shouldn't, which is wherever they want. And then dogs were getting lepto at like, but you get a tetanus shot. Okay. What was I thinking? And anyway, to make a long story short, it's it's a judgment call. If you're gonna take your dog anywhere that rats are and rats would pee, you might want to get your dog a lepto shot. That's how it's transmitted. It's leptospirosis is also deadly to a human. So. Be careful. But they don't have a vaccine that covers all the strains, so it's like, I don't know. It's not totally uncommon, but it's not really that common. It's not that common. I've never had a dog that had lepto. I don't even think I've known personally anyone that's had a dog that's had lepto. It's possible though. It's not impossible that your dog would get lepto. Wet, swampy areas. During the winter, when it freezes, there is no lepto. But oh, thank you, Craig. So if it's frozen, it kills it or it makes it like, I don't know, not active or something. But you don't have to worry about it when it's frozen. But I don't tend to worry about it anyway because I don't really see it. It would be in it would be an area where there was a lot of, like in the city, there's a lot of rats. So, it just goes from one rat to the next, and then it's peeing, and then a dog sniffs the pee, it gets some pee, and then like that. Like there ain't no rats here. I'll tell you that. We don't like I like rodents. I do, I like them, don't get me wrong. But they cannot be coming in this house. Rats and mice, I will not have it. No way. It's like having a bat in here. No, bat's worse than a rat, for sure. I'm moving this up here, Stevie. Put it over here. Hey, Michael, clean the douche. It's nice to have that vent back on. I'll turn your fan on soon. All right, Sammy, let me clean out the feathers in that thing. You all right, Samson? Hey, I gotta go deal with some dogs. I'll live stream in a little bit, okay? Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Who else did that, man? I know who that was. Yeah, it was Kristen Hoffman. Hoffman with a U. Thank you. I'll see you guys in a bit.